2nd congressional district race has really been engaged after the primary. Both Charlie Bass, the Republican congressman, had token opposition and won easily. The Democratic candidate, Annie Kuster, had no opposition. She won her nomination. Now the fight is on, and both candidates are taking different approaches, certainly than they did 2 years ago. Charlie Bass is acting almost like the challenger, certainly coming out, throwing haymakers at Kuster's liberal positions in the past and trying to cast her as outside the mainstream. That's not what you typically see from an incumbent, but this is no safe incumbent, as we've talked about before. He's one of the most targeted Republican incumbents in the country. There's full expectation the 2nd Congressional District will probably go to President Barack Obama on November 6th. If it did, it's going to be very difficult for Charlie Bass to hang on. Kuster's approach, entirely different, almost acting like the incumbent, not engaging Congressman Bass directly in many cases, sticking to a very safe, very general platform going forward and trying to impress on independent voters that she's someone who can work across the aisle. That's really what this race is going to be about. Bass trying to convince voters that Kuster's recasting herself as a moderate. She's really an extreme liberal. And Kuster trying to assure independent voters that she can work with both parties and will work with both parties even if Republicans retain control of the U.S. House, which is quite possible after November 6th. That's the race. It's going to be close, probably right down to the wire like it was 2 years ago when Charlie Bass won by less than 4,000 votes. But this time, Bass goes into it as the underdog, and Kuster goes into it as the favorite. And we'll watch it here for you at LobbyNates.com.